What's up, everybody? It's the Grand Line Gazette, where we talk about One Piece damn near every damn day, and it's Friday, where we talk about the cover stories. We are on number 11. I call this time skip cover story, but what is the
Yo,
official name, Kev?
Straw Hats Separation Series.
Bam. So, if you guys are new to the show, new to the channel, we talk about One Piece a lot. That's Kev. I'm Corey. Uh, like, subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff. And we are going to keep talking about cover stories. We have a whole playlist of them. There's a bunch of lore drops in these cover stories, stuff that we never even thought about before. Guess what? We know what they mean now. We're going to call them out when we see them. You call them out too if we miss them, all right? That's your job. Write that down in the comments
Yep.
below. And as always, Kev, if you can help get started.
Yep. So this one is kind of made up of quite a few cover stories. So we're gonna be going through a couple volumes here pretty quickly. At least on mine. Your page could be a little different, but
12 shot short
volume.
stories.
Yeah. So volume 11 or volume number 11. Sorry, number 11, volume one. Sanji's Kamabaka Hell Insanity. So during the time skip, Kuma sends all the Straw Hats somewhere different. He gets sent to the Kamabakta Queendom, and it's adventure on the island of No Way Out. So he's where Ivankov is the ruler of.
Oh, skipping ahead. Yeah, he's where Ivankov is the ruler of, and I think this is Straw Hat and Blackbeard. Okay, so, alright. I think this is after we meet Ivankov, Straw Hat, and Blackbeard. This is like when he's in Impel Down, I'm thinking. Like right before,
I'd agree.
right at the end, right before Mr. 2 does. Or Mr.
Yeah,
2.
I'm thinking like as they're about to leave and Blackbeard's breaking in
Yeah.
type thing. So yeah, I think you're right. And again, like this is also the future home of where the revolutionaries kind of come together in the where we see Dragon and Sabo returns. Like they meet at the Kamabaka Queendom. So it's also another
And
like
it's
base for
very
them.
close to Marijwa. It's in that
Yes.
little circle from Sabaody, like on both sides of the red line. Um, it's within that vicinity. Like, yeah, it's that trifecta right there. Damn,
Yep.
nice, nice, good pull.
So the
Um,
second one is the second and final volume of that cover story is Sanji's One of the Girls. And so just seems Sanji in a dress, just playing around with all the other girls in the ocean. Then we jump to Robin. So volume 12 or number 12, volume 1. Robins, they do such a terrible thing. Adventure in the land of the slaves. So for us that don't remember, she gets pushed to Tequila Wolf.
and we
And
find
then
out
we,
later that there are multiple wolves. There's Vaku
yeah,
Wolf, Tequila Wolf, Rum Wolf.
yep. And so in volume one, she just kind of shows up. She has the keys already to the shackles, so it's kind of quick for Robin to be already ready to break out.
Well, she's good at infiltrating. Like it's we have Cat
True,
Burglar Nami, but she can literally pull the keys off of anybody at any time, as long as
fair
she's
enough.
like very careful. She's
And it's not
basically
sea
like,
stone chains or something.
yeah, like imagine like the hand just flops down. You're like, what the fuck?
It's like, damn it! It's not what I wanted to happen.
But yeah, she's basically like, bro, you guys are like, this is wicked having people build something like this, especially out in
Yeah,
the
and
snow.
we kind of like find out later it's been they've been building the same thing for like hundreds of years. So it's like, is this like a pointless like task? Is this just kind of something that we just task people to do just to keep them enslaved? It kind of seems pointless to me, but maybe there is a reason for it. But the rebel army saves the slaves. So Robin's set free, and then we later find out that she's with the crew or the revolutionaries. So that's pretty cool. That's how she spends her time skip. We jump to
And we show
Frankie.
somebody that has a giraffe helm, much like how when
Mm,
we saw Garp, he had a dog helm. But we have another guy with like mouse ears right here, so I mean that's nothing new, like the mouse like aesthetic for One Piece characters. But
true.
it's very interesting to because this is also before the time skip, so we don't know
Mm,
who Sabo is yet. So in this cover story, we don't see Sabo, we don't see Koala or anybody like that. So that's pretty interesting.
That's very true. I like that. Good pull. Next one for me is Frankie. Yep. So number 13, Frankie's I'm No Good This Week. Volume 1, Free Roaming Cyborg Animals. So he gets sent to an old Vegapunk lab, which is, again, the perfect destination for him.
Know what's crazy
It's like
about
Kuma
these animals?
picked it.
Vegapunk said that the thing about trying to create these cybernetic animals is that they keep too much of their base personality. So this is probably somewhere he got ran out of. Like the animals got out and everything like that. Look, and they're just rampant. As strong as Vegapunk is, like his, alternates, but I don't think they're even at Frankie's level. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think if Frankie's having a hard time, obviously he's already beaten and battered, but I think Vegapunk would have a hard enough time to motivate himself to be like, all right, I'm getting up out of this island. I haven't even changed the weather yet. Like, I'm out.
I'm out. This is enough. Really reminds me of the Drum Island, Sakura Kingdom type of weather. Very interesting to
Winter Island.
see. Winter Islands. Is this possibly, is this where Blackbeard's from? I mean, eventually we'll find out where he's from, and I think it's going to be somewhere where we've been before already, and it's just going to be released to us.
It would be very interesting if these were all could be identified as some of Frankie's villains, so we could predict his villains coming up or something like that.
And they're also numbered as well. I want to keep that going. We have been, and then the Beatles 92, the Snake is 8. I can't see the lion, but we've been theorizing for a very long time that Kid is the 7th satellite, and he is Vegapunk number 7. And I think that with how many that he's created of these animals, 92 is the beetle. So I can't imagine that he's only created 6 satellites.
Kid is from a winter island. This is a winter island. He could have gotten in trouble just like Frankie got in trouble. And Vegapunk's like, "Whoa, I don't know how to make Seraphim or nothing yet, but I mean, I guess I could try to help you out, kid."
Yeah.
And then he got the magnet for, or for me to help you out, eat this.
I mean, yeah. It's plausible. I mean, it's One Piece. All Oda has to do is write it. So the house where Dr. Vegapunk
I'm just thinking it. All he's got to do is write it.
I will not bill you. Now, this could be a metaphorical, this is where the legend of Dr. Vegapunk, this was his first lab. This is where he published the first encyclopedia of the devil fruit powers. Whatever it may be, I doubt this is truly his birthing place, though.
Yeah, because he also had Punk Hazard, too, so it's there have been multiple Vegapunk labs, and this is before Punk Hazard. But he does, all of the islands that he's jumped to are always winter islands. Punk Hazard was a winter island before the fight.
True, that's a good poll. I like that. And then what was Egghead? I don't think it was.
That one was also a winter island, but he could.
They turned it tropical. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, if you can manufacture weather, that's perfect.
Usopp.
Yeah, Usopp. So number 14, volume 1. I'll die if I'm alone disease. So whatever. Bowen Island is a force of gluttony.
I'll die if I'm alone disease is stupid. Okay.
I mean, that's such an Usopp ass.
I die if I'm alone disease. You can't leave me alone.
So they say it's the force of gluttony, and exactly how I imagine Usopp being with too much food. I mean, he turns into it. But who's this character? I forget his name.
I think they got to say his name in one of these. Oh, I forget.
No, because I don't remember the time skip part.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up his name as well.
But Usopp just gets super, super fat. Fat Usopp's the final volume on this one. but he's not alone, so he doesn't
Heracles.
die.
His name's Heracles, like the Heracles beetle.
Heracles. Oh, there we go.
The beetles that they used to fight each other that inspired Pokemon. There you go, everybody. Take that home with you. Yeah, Fat Usopp is next, and yeah, he's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna die here. I'm actually,
Yeah,
I think I'll do okay. I think I'm gonna be just fine."
and
Cause
he is. He's just fine.
I mean, and his mentality at this point is just like, I guess he's trying to convince himself that Luffy's dead or something outside his control. You know what I mean? So that he can just stay here, and that's why he's fucking fat Thor in it. You know what I mean? Just eating to get away from his problems.
Hey, fair enough. I agree with that. I mean, there's not much him as a person can do, right? I mean, they all kind of end up doing the same thing, which is thrive in their environment that they're in. Robin's the only one who's put like basically in mortal danger, but the rest of them get like Sanji's on a beach.
I would say Frankie might be in mortal danger.
Fair
Wait,
enough.
I
Well,
wonder. Maybe he did get messed up by them animals anyway, and then he had
yeah,
to like
fair. That's
crawl back to the lab or something. But
That's fair. But here we go to a not also not having a good time. Chopper's cover, which is "I'm not food, you jerks," which is something he even has to say to our captain once in a while,
it says, "I'm
just
not
to
food,
remind
you
you.
assholes." Tanuki stew on the run.
Raccoon stew escape,
And so you have
and
these.
then
What island was he at? Was this a sky? No, Nami was at the only sky island. This was just a herbal dominant medicinal island kind of thing. This is what I think Saint J Garcia said. Not Saint J Garcia, but Marcus Mars. This is what I think he turns into. This is the creature that I think Gonfall is supposed to be fighting when he's in Skypiea. I think this is why that is his form. If that is not his form, I think that is Dragon's form. I think this is very similar to what we will see something soon. That being said, this is my first time looking at this cover story. But
and so this is in the Torino Kingdom. It's in the South Blue, but some call it Treasure Island.
yeah,
So it's we're gonna look back on the time skip, and I've said this over and over again, so I apologize. We're gonna look back on the time skip. Kuma is going to have sent the Straw Hats to each island specifically. He's been to all of these, and Kuma's gonna have known what we were gonna learn before we learned it, and that's kind of. And I don't know what we're gonna learn from here, but I know that Zoro wasn't accidentally sent to Mihawk. I know that Luffy wasn't accidentally sent to Amazon Lily.
yeah, they were all sent
And
with purpose, and it's kind of
yeah,
crazy on this one because it's like these guys. Like I said, this is like a herbal dominated like place. These guys do look like they do eat meat, but it looks like some of the like animals that they deal with are massive. You know what I mean? Like very dangerous creatures. Usually it's just like the sea creatures that are dangerous. But no, I guess you get like the boars and you get all the stuff that we've seen as
sure.
well. But they
I
saw
mean, Little
Chopper,
Garden,
yeah,
we had T Rexes on Little Garden, so it's like, yeah,
and
like
then
we'll
giant
run into anything.
basilisks up in Skypiea. So, and then of course Wano.
Yep.
I think they saw Chopper. They're like, finally, easy food. I mean,
A baby reindeer that we can eat
I
finally.
think it was a simple mistake. Now
But
Nami,
moving
yeah,
Nami, another reason why I think Kuma was right on this one, because it's like Nami's not power that she learns from this time skip has been come into the spotlight here recently. So we got Nami's number 16 limited cover story, volume number 1, The Business of the Legendary Sky Island with Area. So
when
Nami
we
just
went
shows
to
up and
Skypiea, they said that there were multiple Sky Islands. That wasn't the only one. This one
yep.
has different architecture too. It has more blocky, like an older architecture, which is kind of crazy, and a flying ship. It might not be like able to fly a suspended in air,
Sure.
hovering ship, whatever y'all want to call it. It's in the air.
I mean, we have anti-gravity with Vegapunk, so this Vegapunk could have learned it from somewhere else. So that's not impossible. But I mean, just in these two panels, you see technology that
They have
we're
a
being introduced to.
energy within this bubble is causing the bubble to inflate and like float up the ship. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and he's showing on this scroll five different things that possibly are something that maybe Nami, as a weather user herself, can definitely implement into her battle style or just overall knowledge.
I wonder if
Now the
this
rain,
is where like
uh,
dance powder was invented.
I was going to go into with the rain on the second volume, on the final volume. You have, I mean, you might have a solution to fixing the Alabasta issue. Last time we checked, Alabasta was still a desert. Like, we need to help that out with a rain god or something like that. And the rain god or technology like this, I think it's pretty important as well.
I wonder, and Nami is taken, and it's very hard to try to extrapolate from this outside of what we've seen in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they were reading this is all they had. They're just like, okay, Nami's on like a raining place. Like, okay, I get it, I get it. But this is possibly like, remember what I said about the buildings? Like, this is possibly like what Alabasta is supposed to look like,
Yeah,
with like crops growing like this high and stuff like that. Like this has that older feel to it, much like Egypt used to be a rainforest right before
sure.
like the flip into a Sahara. Like Alabasta could have been like a rainforest. It could have been abundant. So I
That,
wonder if that was. I wonder if it naturally was a rainforest, or
mm-hmm.
I wonder if it naturally had like a vegetative state, or if that was man-made and then the people making it left. That's my
And
last thought.
it, no, you're fine. I mean, the architecture is very similar in the first volume. It's on the left hand side, so it's a little bit hidden behind our cameras. But you can see that the architecture is very similar to what we would find in Alabasta. So I think you're right. I think we'll have multiple sky islands. I think we'll have like one from the south blue, one from the north blue. I think one may actually be next to Elbath, but above the clouds, up on the top, highest level.
I never
So
even
I,
thought about the Sky Islands all being from like other Sky Islands being from knockup streams. I just all thought of them like
yeah.
Little Garden or whatever.
Oh, that I mean that's possible too. I guess I get the inspiration from like in Avatar, you'd have the northern air tribe, you have the southern air tribe, the eastern whatever. You
But
have the
yeah,
air
I mean
temples.
that would just make sense. That yeah, hey,
Yeah, so I think there's a possibility there, especially with area being introduced here recently again. With That's where Punk Records flew
yes,
off to, was to with area. So I think it's there, and so I think we're gonna be seeing them here soon. Brooks one we covered here recently, number 17, volume 1. Brooks time skip was introducing us to the demon circle, but it was Kuma transporting him, but it seemed to this clan that he was the one summoned. So repainted for the night stay in underwear because he asked one of the people for their panties.
yeah,
People
probably a
who do
skill.
not fight.
Like
Yeah, they
probably
asked
saved
the
this
girl for the
girl.
panties.
He
Yeah.
saved her. He's like, all right, let me see your panties. She's like, no, all right, bro. But very
The
interesting.
demon begins composing.
The
Oh,
it looks Wano esque,
yes.
like ancient but Eastern. You know what I mean? I wonder if that
I,
means something.
I mean,
I
we
guess
got
that would be like
long arms
the,
too.
the way they look. I guess like a Mongolian, like northern China or something, like Chinese kind of like something like
Sure.
that, because that could be a Chinese house, Mongolian house.
I mean, we just found out recently with Scopper Kaban that long arm tribe is something that has been around for generations and generations. So I would guess the same thing might apply to them, where we have long arm tribes that are from the north, south, east, and west blue that all kind of look differently but have that same characteristic. So
That
I
is
don't think you're
true.
wrong.
Logart tribe
I think.
are descendants of giants. Um,
Mhm.
we found that out in 1139. So
Yeah, Scopper Caban released that. And so on the second volume for the Knight's Stay in the Underwear, the demon begins composing. So they still think he's the devil. We got a guy trying to sacrifice his draws over here on the left. But
because he
got
asked
another
the
headpiece.
girl, "Give me your panties," and they're all worshiping him, and there's like, "Oh, he wants underwear." Like,
It's like
here,
no no no
show
no
him
no.
your underwear because that's what he wants. And he's like, all right, whatever. I'll just hang out here for a while.
Please stop, please,
They're like,
whatever you're doing,
they're
please
like,
stop.
look, he's making music. It's inspiring him. Like, okay. Now
Right.
Zorro.
This is
Now,
gross.
now we get to something pretty crazy.
Yeah. So number 18, Zolos. Where are they? What a pain. Volume 1, the giant tombstone of the outskirts of the ruins. So we know this story all too well. We see Perona floating above. We're on the Mihawk Island, and all of this is happening during Marineford. So, I mean, he's all bandaged up now, though, but he doesn't have no clue where he's at.
This is very interesting. It's a giant cross, so it's a giant grave, and you have like a manipulated Earth. You know what I mean? Like that looks like somebody pulled up the Earth or manipulated the Earth just in like two different places. I don't remember how many
Mm-hmm.
mountains look like that. If they did, then I
That
could still be like no, like because those look like those mountains like we're trying to grab something like
that
serpentine.
looks. What does that remind me of? That reminds maybe not the Starry Night, but it reminds me of some like jet. What was that? I'll think of it off the show.
What it
But
reminds me of are earthbenders. Like let's say like a giant like now that we know that like the red line was like a giant serpent or monster or something like that. Like what if you put your hands to the ground and the earth came up and you try to grab it so it stood still or was still. That's what it's giving me vibes of. And you have a giant grave, so it's like maybe this is where somebody significant died.
so I just posted a picture in the chat. I mean, take a look and see what you think. But it reminds me of the night before Christmas,
Let me check it out.
the little hill that they're on top of. It reminds me just
Oh, okay. Maybe
reminds
that
me
is
of that
it.
same design
Maybe
ish. But you can see the trees on the left hand one. The trees are growing from on top of the swirl. So it's like growing like an airbender temple, like underneath it, which is pretty cool. But like you said, I mean, this could be an earth bending where maybe they grew the cross out of the ground and it really disturbed the area.
I can see that. Or that's actually well. There was a battle here. Like
Sure.
something happened
Yeah.
here, so it's like I wonder what exactly happened because it's like you have all these swords also stuck in the ground, and the swords aren't the same. Like, oh, actually, I think that's Zoro's katana. I was gonna say one's a katana, one's a just a sword.
I mean,
um,
but to
yeah.
your point, I think so. On this island, you have Mihawk. So you will have people coming to challenge Mihawk as well. These could be swords of the fallen, where it's very similar to our game. I know we talk about Game of Thrones a lot, but to Game of Thrones, where it's like, hey, you're going to bend the knee and you're going to leave your sword here, or you're not going to leave at all. So it could be something like that. Or Mihawk had to learn to be a swordsman at some point. He had a family, I'm assuming. So this could be his family's homeland, and these could be swords of his family members. But I'm a little bit lost as well on it. So
And then bam, mystery. A challenger approaches. Uh,
and so I mean, really, I forget who that is, but at the end of this, I mean, Zoro just asked Mihawk to train him, and
these are the giant
after,
monkeys. Remember, he fights the giant
oh,
monkeys there.
right, right, and shortly after all of these cover stories, they all learned that Fire Fist Ace was dead, Then we get this 3Y 2D tattoo.
That's very true. So I believe we're gonna have a Marineford was the name I was trying to think of for the longest time. Bam! From the last video, I finally got it. I was trying to think of the last person that looks like Koala Gunko. Maybe has that Nami face. It's
Sure.
It's the girl we think is Akainu's daughter.
Oh,
Because
nah.
she's also a sniper, just like that. I'm sorry, y'all. We have another video that just came out the other day where we were talking about the legacies and all the celestial dragon families, who we know,
Yeah.
what we know. There's a man mayor family that we think Gunko, Koala, I think Nami personally, and whatever. What's this girl's name? We did a video on her too. The girl
Habari.
that Hibari, the girl that has a crush on Kobe. Hibari,
Mhm.
bam.
She doesn't have the hat, but I agree that she does have the sniper and same face structure. So I mean, it's not impossible.
That will be a video for next
Yeah.
week. But yeah, this is at the end of the video. Yeah, he's about to fight the giant monkeys that are swordsmen, that are very strong, that learned how to wield. Okay, whatever. Yeah, just whatever we gotta do.
I mean, they have survived on Mihawk's land, so I'll give them like, hey, they're probably stronger than the average person, I guess. But
Oh, and Perona's here.
yes,
This grave
which
is carved out of a tree. Like this was. I wonder if this is an Adam tree grave.
I mean, it had to be somebody important. So we find somebody who is important enough to do that, and then like imagine like Mihawk cut himself where he slices like the cross perfectly out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously Perona's here, but it's like the thing that gets me. It's like the tree is within all the rubble. You know what I mean? So it's like the building had to be built around the tree at first.
Hmm. I agree. And we also saw Perona here recently. I mean, we have some we actually in this last chapter we've seen something very recently to the same background where it's swords, rubble. We have the Elbathian castle just torn to shreds, and recently we saw Perona save Kobe. So I think Mihawk's in for a little bit of lore drop here soon. So I think we're on to something here.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think we missed anything during this time skip arc? The Straw Hat pre-time skip roundup or what? I don't remember what the story was called. But what do you guys think? Write your comments down below. If you guys want to see another video, if you guys want to see the next video in this series, you got to make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That's the only way you're gonna know. As always, that's Kev. I'm Corey. We're gonna catch y'all next time.
Peace.